Hello mates, I hope you're all doing well. So today I'm going to be doing, I guess, like a sequel to a video that I've done before, and I'm going to be reacting to some more tattoo regrets from videos that are right here on YouTube. Go and check out the last one of these that I did as well. I'll put the link in the description. So as I've said before, I think having regrets is just kind of part of getting like a whole bunch of tattoos for people. The chances are if you've got like a lot of tattoos, there will be at least one that you're maybe not as in love with as you were when you first got it. We all make mistakes, especially when we're young and we're stupid, and I think it's something that's actually really important that people speak about so people know what they're getting themselves in for when it comes to getting tattoos. I'll put the links and credit the original creators of the videos that we're going to be watching today in the description below. This is going to make me sad, I know it, but without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so our first video comes from a creator called Sara Puhto, and it's called I Regret My Tattoos, in brackets, which ones and why. All right, let's have a watch. Let's see what Sara is saying.
Hello and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome to my channel. I'm Sara, and today I'm going to be telling you about all the tattoos that I regret because I have probably close to 100 tattoos.
Well, that is a lot. I hope one day I have close to 100. I hope I don't regret them though, like, I'm guessing she's going to say that she does, or at least she regrets some of them. Let's see.
So obviously there are ones that I do regret in some way, shape, or form. Luckily, I am quite okay with my impulsive decisions. Good. And when I was younger, I was into like fine line tattooing, and then I started getting more bold pieces and decided I want all of my pieces quite bold. It's been an easy switch. Starting off, I regret almost every single stick and poke tattoo I have done for myself.
Yeah, I think this is probably the same for a lot of people. Don't self-tattoo if you are not a tattoo artist, especially don't be sticking and poking with fucking like safety pins and Indian ink and all that stuff. Nah, it's a recipe for disaster.
So this is actually one of the only stick and pokes that I actually really love that I've done on myself, this little knife.
It's kind of cool.
It. That's the only one. No, the rest of them are really bad. I recently, if you haven't seen, covered up a butterfly that I did on my wrist.
That's a sick cover up though.
This barbed wire by a different artist, obviously, not me. I made this. Girl, what is this? Like, what happened there? What happened there? I think my thing was I was just very like, I didn't care about how my tattoos looked because I was like, oh, I can cover it up with something anyway later. Now I'm trying to think of something nice to use to cover up the smiley face. So if you got any ideas, I got a nice little space here.
Going back to what she said before about not really caring so much initially when she was doing the tattoos on herself because she was saying, well, I'll just cover them up later. I am familiar with that attitude. I was there once, back when I was a young and handsome man. Now I'm just a handsome man. I'm only 28, come on now. I have spoken about it a bunch of times, but I do have a tattoo here on my ankle, which was not done professionally. It was also done by my ex-girlfriend, and I remember thinking at the time, well, if I don't like it, I'll just cover it up. And you know, best part of 10 years later, I've been thinking, I should cover that up. Like the entire 10 years, like since I got this, I've been thinking I should cover it up. And I still haven't, because it was hellish getting it. It was so painful. And I'm not looking forward to covering it up. But at the same time, I hate it, so I need to cover it up. So, in a roundabout kind of way, what I'm trying to say is, don't think, fuck it, I can always cover it up if I hate it. Think, do I actually want this? Is this actually a good idea? And then if you come to the conclusion it is a good idea, definitely a good idea after you've put a bunch of thought into it, then go and get it. Don't think, fuck it, I can always just cover it. That leads to regrets. That is not a good idea, trust me. Right, anyway, back to Sara.
Oh yeah, almost forgot. This spider is also covering up a spider tattoo that I did. The dog balloon on my leg. The balloon dog on my leg. I don't know how I'm exactly gonna cover that one up, but I hope that I can figure something out. And I just feel like I personally don't like it, but I think it's just purely because like the line work and shape of it is quite off. I also do like this little thingy on my ear that I tattooed. So that's like 3 tattoos that I like that I've done.
Can I just say that the peony that is on the back of her hand is so sick. Hopefully that's not one of the ones that she regrets, because I am kind of jealous. Kind of wish that was my hand, you know?
I used to have a 269 tattoo with a semicolon here, right there, which is actually what the leaf cover up is. So a little backstory. It's like a vegan tattoo that I got, and then eventually I just wanted to cover it up because I just didn't feel like it. Like, I don't know, I just didn't feel like it anymore. And I initially wanted to cover it up with a black spider that looked like this spider does, but when I was in that state, I was kind of just like, oh, I'm still just liking like fine line and line work instead of black work. So instead I got the leaf over it, which I now regret and want to cover up a cover up.
Oh God, don't get in that position.
Yeah, think about your cover-ups before you get them.
Think about your
Don't be
tattoos
like
before
me.
you get them.
Because I have so many tattoos that all kind of like...
Okay, I want to see what's on her right arm. So there's a bunch of peonies from the looks of it. Her right arm looks sick as fuck. She has got some really cool pieces on her left arm as well, but I love just the amount of black work that is in her right arm. That bit of clean skin though by her elbow would annoy me. I hope she's planning on blacking that bit out. Sick though.
I love this arm so much, and how it's actually like come along, like the way that it looks.
Sacred Heart's cool.
This way.
Okay, so to be fair to her, she has got some quite cool stuff on her left arm as well. Like, I love the Karma on the top of her shoulder. Got a cool little old school TV, Sacred Heart. Snake looks cool as well. So she has got some cool shit there.
It's so cute. I love it. It's my favorite. And I do love like all of my tattoos. I've always known I wanted to be a heavily tattooed person. I think since I was like 14, I really wanted it, but because I was still in that mentality of like, oh no, you can't get lots of tattoos if you want a job in life, and thankfully that is not the case right now. So I'm really happy that I can just kind of cover myself, because it feels so me, and I just feel like I can express myself so much better, and my skin actually just finally feels like me now. And like a lot of my insecurities have been solved by getting tattoos. Like, well, not solved, but like it's made them better. Like, for example, I used to hate my stomach, but now after getting like butterfly tattoos and stuff,
Love
just
that.
helped me be more confident with my stomach and showing my stomach.
Well, thank you for that, Sarah. At least she is pretty positive and she likes the majority of her tattoos. It's more just the stick and poke ones that she regrets, or ones that she could kind of easily get reworked. So at least that is positive. Is she done a tattoo tour video? I'd love to see a tattoo tour video from her. Okay, so keep an eye out in the future, because I'm definitely going to be reacting to one of Sarah's tattoo tour videos. I love her right sleeve especially, so I'm looking forward to doing some reactions to that. Keep an eye out for that in the future. But thank you for that, Sarah. On to the next one. Okay, so our next video comes from a creator called Snitchery, and the video is called When TikTok Makes You Regret Your Tattoos. Let's have a watch.
I used to hate when people would tell me I'd regret my tattoos when I got older. I literally used to be like, man. Hey guys, what's up? It's your girl, Snitch. How are we doing, guys? Bit of a doozy today, innit? That
was her doing a British accent. This is what we all sound like to Americans, isn't it? We're all like fucking chimney sweeps. How'd you do then, lovo? Is that all? We got our fucking little pinkies up drinking tea. It's a vicious stereotype and I will not stand for it. Ooh, that's some good tea. But hello, Snitch. Let's have a watch.
why TikTok, or how TikTok, made me somebody who is covered in tattoos, somebody who literally was an inked magazine, that's myself in my article, made me regret them. But I've made so many videos on my channel, on my Instagram, over time about my tattoos. I'm not sure how many. I only have them on the upper half of my body, but I do have quite a few yaddies. I need to stop with the accent, bro. I'm sorry. For women especially, I am like very heavily tatted. I've talked about my tattoo story, my tattoo journey, about how I always wanted tattoos, but didn't want to be this tattooed. And then I had to get a big cover up for a big messed up tattoo. Long story short, I am now perceived as a very heavily tattooed person, and particularly a very heavily tattooed woman. It's oftentimes the first thing that people notice about me. Definitely has changed the way that I've been treated in public, in my dating life, in the friends I make, my social circles, the places I've been able to live, really everything. Which is kind of weird because for me, I've been getting tattooed for 10 years now. Son, please. I'm 26. I got my first tattoo when I was 16, and I'm so used to them, especially because I haven't gotten a new tattoo since pre-COVID. So to me, they're very much a part of my body, but I recognize in my day-to-day interactions and meeting new people, even in the comments that I get on like TikTok and stuff, that they kind of are my defining physical trait.
Yeah, I get that. Like with what Snitch is saying, obviously they are quite heavily tattooed, visibly tattooed, all that good stuff. And with that comes a bunch of kind of stereotyping, and also a bunch of people just looking at you as the person with the tattoos and not looking at you as anything deeper than that. And that is something that you kind of have to be aware of. If you're going to get a whole bunch of tattoos, you are going to be the person with a whole bunch of tattoos to lots of different people. And that can be kind of difficult. Like, I am more than my tattoos. Snitch is more than their tattoos, you know? But it's something you have to keep in your brain. If you're going to get a whole bunch of tattoos, you're going to be the person with a whole bunch of tattoos.
And there have definitely been moments in the past where I've regretted them to like a point, and that feeling has never been more palpable for me than recently as I've been scrolling through TikTok. If you're also on like core TikTok, you will literally know what I mean. I cannot escape, and I think it's most women in some capacity, the rapid fire Sonic the Hedgehog pace speed with which aesthetics and like these cores go in and out of fashion. I don't know if this developed first on like Pinterest. All of a sudden, I noticed maybe last year, it became really popular to sort of categorize yourself and your fashion and even like your life choices and behavior and your mannerisms on like a certain core. These are basically just like aesthetic. I remember back in the early days, back a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, when cottagecore was really, really popular, and it really struck me, and I was like, I'm going to change my entire life to be cottagecore. You know what I'm talking about? Cottagecore is like these really like beautiful, effeminate, prairie, homely, like vintage style, and I thought it was so cute. Went out and I like thrifted a bunch of stuff, and I get back home and I tried everything on, and I basically looked like this. This dress is kind of accurate to the stuff I bought then, and I was so disappointed, bro, because look at me. Like, actually, like, do I look like I belong on a prairie, bestie? Do I look like I belong in a cottage, anywhere, anything other than like a cabin in the woods? Because of my tattoos, unless my tattoos were covered, I was never gonna give cottagecore. I was never gonna give cottagecore. There's probably like a yadded up cottagecore princess, a bae out there. Bitch, I'm single. For me, you know, it wasn't working. It was the first time where like I had really tried something stylistically and I feel like it didn't work for me, and it kind of made me side-eye them a little bit, but I was mostly like, well, the vast majority of the aesthetics that I do enjoy and the typical ways I like to dress, I feel like my tattoos really enhance them. Just because I couldn't make this work, like, it doesn't mean it's a bad thing. And then I started going to like way more events, fancy spaces, right? And I found that not only did I not really like how I looked in the dresses, but I also felt a little bit uncomfortable at the events, which is weird because I'm not a person who really gets uncomfortable and like, I don't know, or like I don't feel like I'm supposed to be. Like, if I'm there, I feel like I'm freaking supposed to be there. But for some reason, being in a formal dress, I just felt so awkward in these moments. Or even like a wedding. I went to a wedding and I just felt so uncomfortable, even though I was in a very similar dress to all these other like fancy women. I just am so aware that I look so different because of my tattoos.
Yeah, like, I get what Snitch is saying. Like, obviously, Snitch kind of wants to present herself as being one way, but feels like her tattoos kind of hold her back from that, like in certain situations, like when it comes to dressing more formally or trying to dress like she's from the prairie. Like, it's a difficult thing, like, because at the end of the day, why does Snitch feel this way? Well, because society says in order to look formal or feminine or whatever, you shouldn't be heavily tattooed or whatever, and that's, you know, that's not okay. And I don't want to get like super into it and super like philosophical or whatever, But I hate that. I hate that Snitch has been kind of made to feel that way, essentially because of society, because of social media, making her feel that she doesn't necessarily fit in with other people, can't wear like these like fancy formal dresses or whatever because she's heavily tattooed and therefore it doesn't look right or whatever. I'm not about that. We need to challenge these stereotypes. Like, what stops you from looking formal just because you've got a bunch of pretty pictures on your skin? Like, it's ridiculous. And social media has not helped any of these feelings for anyone, has it, realistically? Anyway, let's get back into the video.
I also think that as I'm getting a little bit older, I'm also just becoming like a little bit softer as a person. And I hesitate to even mention this reason because I used to hate when people would tell me I'd regret my tattoos when I got older. I literally used to be like, man. And I do think I'll just like circle back around when I'm like 50 and love them again and be so happy I had them and like got them on young skin. So this is not to say that you shouldn't get tattooed when you're young, but stylistically, these are very hard, badass tattoos, which reflected me perfectly when I was like 21. That's who I was when I was 18 to 22, hard and bold, and I knew exactly who I was, I thought. And now that I'm 26, I'm like, I actually know nothing, and I wish I had a little bit more real estate to do something a little bit different with my look, maybe a little bit more cohesive.
This is something I've spoken about on other videos on my channel. It's kind of when is the best kind of age to start, you know, getting blasted and start getting a whole bunch of tattoos if that's what you want to do. Because it is kind of normal to regret your early tattoos, you know, the ones that you get like when you're first legally of age to get tattooed. So does that mean that you should wait? Or does it mean if you wait, then you will still regret your first tattoos anyway? You know, do you need that experience in order to work out what tattoos you actually like? It's a tricky thing, you know? I don't really like the first tattoos that I got. Like, the first ones I got is I got this fucking scribble on my chest that I'm gonna cover up. I got the one on my ankle that I mentioned earlier in the video. I got this pin-up girl on my arm that I've had to have reworked. Those are my first 3 tattoos. I regret all of them. And I got all of those between the age of 18 and 20. The first, you know, like 2 years when I could legally get tattooed. And it wasn't until I was like 21, 22 that I started working out, okay, these are the good artists that I should go to. This is the style that I actually like and all those kinds of things, you know? So should you wait to get tattooed? I wouldn't like to say, but it is something to think about.
I don't know if I would have gotten anything this big and bold. It's hard to tell. I'm a person that likes change. I'm constantly changing my hair, and I'm a person that gets bored easily. So there is like a mild sense of frustration that I'm stuck with this aesthetic and this style. I kind of see it as like, well, you're also stuck with your face. You know what I mean? Like, this is just like a part of me now. This is just what I look like, but it's a little bit of a harder pill to swallow when your body doesn't match an outfit you're trying to wear and you realize that your body doesn't work for that outfit because of a choice that you made. When I got all these tattoos, it was because I had been alternative my entire life. I grew up like a scene kid. Like I said, I wanted tattoos from when I was young. I just kind of felt like, man, I'm really committing to my niche. That's really like who I am. That's what I love. And it wasn't until TikTok that I just got this like hunger and feverishness to try everything. And it's like you can go around and recreate yourself every single day. And if you're consuming TikTok, you're gonna want to. But now, rather than being really happy I found my style, I'm like, oh my God, wait, what if there's a better style? And a lot of those styles aren't working because they're not really me. I got these tattoos in this style because this is me. I am like a little bit of a harder, more masculine person. Doesn't mean I can't wear dresses like this, but the majority of the time, I'm not. And I don't think it's a coincidence that I feel that way about having made permanent choices to my body that visually and aesthetically I feel good about, that now I'm like second guessing and sometimes regretting because I'm seeing all these other millions of people who look different and I'm being influenced. It's so exhausting. The cores are literally killing us. Maybe I'm completely alone in this, in which case I hope you enjoyed my ramblings.
Right, well, thank you for that, Snitch. So many phenomenal points in there about how social media and society kind of influence the way that we see ourselves and how we want to be perceived, and is constantly encouraging us to change things about ourselves in order to fit like certain trends, certain styles. And basically, in conclusion, fuck TikTok and all other social media. And that is it. Those are my reactions to some of YouTube's tattoo regrets. If you did enjoy this video, give it a like and hit the subscribe button and all of that other YouTube bollocks. If you like the music that you're hearing in the background, well, it was actually all produced by me. I've got another channel where I post beats / instrumentals that I've written for singers to use to write songs to. So if that is something that you are interested in, I'll put a link in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.